Ladies and gentlemen, السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يسعدني أن أرحب بجميع الحضور الذين معنا هنا في الرياض والذين انضموا معنا عن بعد في هذه الورشة المميزة. إن وجودكم اليوم يعكس حرصكم على اكتساب المعرفة، تطوير مهاراتكم، واستكشاف الفرص الأكاديمية والبحثية. أرحب بجميع المشاركين المسجلين الذين حرصوا على التواجد اليوم للاستفادة من هذه التجربة الأكاديمية الفريدة. هذه الورشة ليست مجرد لقاء عملي، بل فرصة حقيقية للتواصل، تبادل الخبرات، واستلهام الأفكار التي قد تشكل خطواتكم القادمة في رحلتكم الأكاديمية والمهنية. It's my pleasure to welcome everyone attending with us in Riyadh, as well as those join remotely. I extend a warm welcome to all registered participants who has made the effort to be here today to benefit from this academic experience. My name is Hind Asiri, a faculty member at Bisha University. I'm a PhD candidate in mental health and psychiatric nursing at RMIT University in Australia. I hold my master's degree in advanced nursing from the University of Melbourne and bachelor degree in general nursing from King Khalid University. I'm also the president of Saudi for helping them adapt to life and studies in Australia. بالبداية أود أن أبدأ بتوجيه خالص الشكر والتقدير إلى خادم الحرمين الشريفين الملك سلمان بن عبد العزيز آل سعود وولي عهده الأمين ملهمنا الأمير محمد بن سلمان لدعمهما المستمر لمسيرة التعليم والتطوير في المملكة العربية السعودية، وإلهامهم لرؤيتنا رؤية 2030 التي جعلت من التعليم حجر الأساس لمستقبل أكثر إشراقاً. كما أشكر وزارة التعليم ومركز الابتعاث على جهودهم الحثيثة في تمكين الطلاب السعوديين من الوصول إلى أرقى الجامعات العالمية واكتساب المعرفة التي ستسهم في تنمية وطننا الغالي. كما لا يفوتني أن أتقدم بجزيل الشكر والامتنان لجامعة RMIT ومكتب مسيرتنا على إتاحة هذه الفرصة الثمينة لي بأن ليس فقط للوقوف أمامكم ولكن لمشاركة تجربتي الشخصية معكم والتواصل معكم عن قرب. I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to RMIT University and Masiratna office for giving me this valuable opportunity to share my personal experience. I would like to extend warm welcome to our guest from Australia who have joined us here in Riyadh for this valuable event. A special welcome to Dr. Tariq Rana, Associate Prof, Accounting of School in Accounting Information System and Supply Chain at RMIT University. We are delighted to have you with us today. Mr. Joseph Du, Regional and Spencer Development Manager at RMIT University. I also want to welcome and thank all members of Masiratna office with a special thank Mr. Turki Semeh. والآن دعوني أتكلم معكم عن تجربة الابتعاث في دولة أستراليا. قبل 6 سنوات كنت جالسة في ورشة عمل مشابهة تماماً لهذه الورشة، وكان عندي تساؤلات مرة كثيرة في بالي. كنت أفكر وإيش الدولة اللي راح أبتعث فيها، وإيش هي إيجابيات هذه الدولة، كيف طريقة العيش في هذه الدولة، وإيش راح أستفيد من هذه الدولة، وكيف هي طريقة التدريس فيها. وبعدها فكرت في أستراليا. أول شيء سويته فتحت خريطة العالم وشفت وين أستراليا. شفتها جدا بعيدة وفكرت مليون ألف فكرة في بالي. هل هذه البلد آمنة أو لا؟ هل راح تكون تجربة الدراسة هناك سهلة أو صعبة؟ كيف بيكون السكن؟ وهل راح ألاقي سكن مناسب وبيكون قريب من الجامعة والمواصلات؟ كيف راح تكون تكلفة المعيشة؟ هل راح أقدر أمارس ديني بحرية؟ وهل في مساجد؟ وهل في أماكن توفر الأكل الحلال؟ كيف النظام الصحي هناك؟ كل هذه الأسئلة كانت في بالي، ومتأكدة أن أحد الأشخاص منكم اليوم عنده نفس التساؤلات. واليوم جاية أقول لكم لقيت الجواب. أولاً فيما يخص الأمان، صحيح أستراليا بعيدة لكن إيجابياتها كثيرة. أول إيجابية تخص أستراليا الأمان. طبعاً تعتبر أستراليا مقارنة بالدول الأخرى أقل نسبة في الجرائم، وتعتبر دولة آمنة. لما أتكلم عن هذه الناحية أنا أتكلم عن ملبورن، فملبورن تعتبر في السيتي بالذات آمنة، دولة آمنة بإذن الله. فيما يخص السكن، طبعا إحنا محظوظين إنه أستراليا مقارنة بالدول الأخرى تعتبر أسهل للحصول على سكن. المبتعث يقدر إنه يبحث عن طريق برنامج ريل استيت. لما يبحث عن طريقه يسجل كل بياناته، يبحث عن سكن مناسب له قريب من جامعته، وبعدها يقدر يروح يزور السكن ويعمل انسبكشن، ثم يقدر يعني على طول يوقع العقد. فمقارنة بالدول الأخرى أستراليا تعتبر في السكن أفضل. لما نجي نتكلم عن تكلفة المعيشة، طبعا إحنا كمبتعثين يكون لنا مكافأة. أنا أعتقد أنه يعتمد على نوعية صرف الشخص، لكن مكافأة المبتعثين في دولة أستراليا مقارنة بالدول الأخرى يعتبر أفضل نوعا ما في السكن وفي المعيشة وفي الدراسة. لما نجي نتكلم عن النظام الصحي، كان من أحد مخاوفي النظام الصحي. طبعا كمبتعثين راح نقدم على تأمين صحي من خلال مكتب مسيرتنا. لما هو يقدم لنا تحتاج انك لما تمرض بعيد الشر فجأة انك تحجز موعد وتروح للعيادة، تقدر تاخذ تأمينك، تتوجه الى الطوارئ مباشرة ويستقبلونك. كمان تقدر تطلب الإسعاف إنها تجي لمكانك وما تحتاج إنك تدفع، لأن التأمين الصحي هو يغطي التكاليف في نفس اللحظة. لما نجي نتكلم عن الممارسة الدين، طبعا عشان نكون في الصورة، أستراليا تعتبر مالتي كلتشر، تعتبر من الدول اللي فيها كثير مهاجرين، كثير من جميع الديانات. فلما نجي نتكلم عن كممارسة الدين، تقدر تمارس دينك فيها مساجد يصلون فيها صلاة الجمعة، صلاة التراويح، وأيضا يعني الأعياد مع الجالية المسلمة. فبالناحية ممارسة الدين هم شعب ودود لطيف ما فيهم عنصرية. لما نجي نتكلم عن وجود المحلات والأكل الحلال، طبعا أستراليا من أفضل الدول اللي في أغلب المطاعم تحصلون فيها أكل حلال، فما يحتاج أنكم تكونون خايفين من هذه النقطة. لما نجي نتكلم عن الطقس في ملبورن خصيصا، طبعا 4 فصول في يوم واحد. جهزوا جاكيتاتكم وانتم رايحين، لأن أغلب السنة راح تكون برد. صيفها يعتبر من تقريبا نوفمبر إلى فبراير، بس مو مرة يعني متقلب الجو. طبعا بعيدا عن الإيجابيات اللي إحنا تكلمنا عليها فيما يخص النظام الصحي، الأمان، طرق التدريس، نتوجه إلى الصعوبات. طبعا مهما كانت تجربة الابتعاث جميلة جدا إلا ما يكون فيها تحديات جدا، خصوصا أن الشخص ينتقل لدولة جديدة بثقافة جديدة ببيئة جديدة، وربما أحد عائلته في السعودية. طبعا التكيف مع بيئة جديدة تحتاج وقت، هذه من أهم الأشياء. فأحب أقول لكم أهم شيء الواحد يكون مستعد يتعلم ويتأقلم بدون ما يضغط على نفسه، فيكونوا صبورين على أنفسكم. بعد المسافة عن الأهل طبعا من أهم صعوبات وتحديات دولة أستراليا، ولكن ولله الحمد والمنة إحنا في دولة توفر لنا تذاكر سنوية تقدرون تستخدمونها وترجعون للسعودية في وقت إجازاتكم. طلبة الدكتوراه عندهم الانوال ليف طبعا غالبا يكون 1 month إلى 6 week every year، يعني مرة بالسنة. لما نيجي نتكلم عن شيء جدا مهم يهمني جدا أنكم تعرفونه، الحنين للوطن. إيش تعرفون عنه؟ الهومسك، هل في أحد واجه الهومسك قبل؟ وش الأعراض اللي حصلت عليها؟ وش كانت من أهم الأعراض؟ ديبريشن، أوكي. الاكتئاب صح، من ضمن. طبعا مهم جدا ان نكون مدركين وواعين انه في شيء اسمه هومسك، الحنين للوطن. طبعا تجي معاه بعض الاعراض اللي هي مقارنه دوله استراليا بدوله السعوديه، التفكير في الاهل والام والعائله، فقدان الحماس للدراسه، شعور مفاجئ بالحزن، كل هذه الاشياء تحصل. فهذا هنا دور النادي السعودي في ملبورن. طبعا اختلاطك مع النادي السعودي من الأشياء اللي ساعدتني أنا شخصيا وساعدك كثير من المبتعثين على تخفيف هذا الشعور، وهو وجود نادي طلبة سعودي في ملبورن، لأنه حلو أن يكون في بيئة داعمة تساعدك تتخطى الحنين للوطن وتبني ذكريات جديدة وأصدقاء جدد يشاركونك نفس الرحلة. فمهم جدا أنكم تختلطون، تروحون الفعاليات اللي يقدمها نادي الطلبة السعودي في ملبورن أو في أستراليا، في كل مدينة بأستراليا. نجي الآن أهم نقطة اللي هي التجربة الأكاديمية في أستراليا وطرق التدريس. وأنا أعتقد أن كثير منكم عندهم هذه التساؤلات فيما يخص التدريس وكيفية الحصول على قبول. طبعا التجربة الأكاديمية في أستراليا، كيفية الحصول على القبول، إحنا عندنا مكتب مسيرتنا متواجد لمساعدتكم من دون أي رسوم علشان يوجد لكم قبول. لما نجي نتكلم عن القبول في مرحلة الماجستير فأنت فقط تحتاج أنك تغطي المتطلبات اللي هي الدرجة المعدل الأكاديمي وبعض المتطلبات اللي يطلبكم مكتب مسيرتنا أنكم تقدمونها لهم، ما فيها أي صعوبة. في مرحلة الدكتوراه للحصول على قبول مختلف تماماً. طبعا ما أخفيكم أنه يمكن يكون أصعب بشوي، لكن مهم جدا أن الإنسان يعني الشخص يكون عارف إيش هو المجال اللي يحب أنه يدرس فيه، يبحث لمشرف. مجرد ما يحصل على قبول مشرف مبدئي هنا يبدأ دور مكتب مسيرتنا. مكتب مسيرتنا يرفع لكم أبليكيشن، وحتى الجامعات تفضل أنها مكاتب تقدم الأبليكيشن. فأنا نصيحتي لكم لا تضيعون وقتكم، أو يمكن تفقدون بعض البيانات أنكم ما تقدمونها في الأبليكيشن لأن طلباتها كثيرة. فمكتب مسيرتنا يقدر يقدم لكم القبول بالأبليكيشن والفيز لكم ولعائلاتكم وأيضا التأمين الصحي. طبعا من إيجابيات الدراسة في أستراليا أن نظامها في التدريس يكون على البحث والتحليل والتفكير النقدي، وهذه من الإيجابيات اللي أنا يعني أشوفها جدا تميز الباحث عن غيره في أي دولة ثانية. لما نيجي نتكلم الآن عن دور الجامعة في الطلاب الأكاديميين أو كيف نحصل على قبول دكتوراه، هذا دور جامعة RMIT، وهم متواجدين معنا اليوم عشان يسهلون لكم طرق الحصول على قبول دكتوراه. أتمنى أني أكون غطيت على أغلب التساؤلات اللي في بالكم، وأنا موجودة لو عندكم أي تساؤلات ثانية. والآن let's welcome our speaker from RMIT University Association, Professor Dr. Tariq Rana, who will give us an overview of PhD research at RMIT and the RMIT College Research Focused. Thank you, Dr. Tariq.
Is this screen coming up? I don't know. Who knows? I think it's popped up. Yeah. Thank you. I'd like to extend my warm welcome to everyone who is present tonight. Thanks for coming on time. So in the introduction, it was mostly Arabic, so I'm not 100% sure what has been said, but I hope it was good. I just like to introduce myself, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to present, and then we'll open up for questions. As we go, if you have any question, please raise your hand, and we are more than happy to answer your questions rather than holding up towards the end, because by that time probably we'll forget the question. So feel free to ask, and I like you to kind of ask as many questions as you like, because if we engage with each other, we can probably learn a bit more. First of all, my name is Dr. Tarek Rana. I'm an associate professor of accounting in the School of Accounting, Information Systems, Supply Chain at the RMIT. And as you can see on the screen, we are truly an international university. And in terms of our focus, we are focusing heavily on technology, design, and enterprise. So these are the colleges in our university, and as you can see, business and law, design and social context, STEM, and we also have vocational education. So that means we are actually a double-tier university where we have kind of college within the university, and then 3 colleges at the tertiary level. So I am tonight representing the university. I'm also representing College of Business as well as STEM, and I will also represent Accounting, Information System, and Supply Chain. So as you can see that there are lots of disciplines included in those colleges. So I don't need to name all of them, but we have not listed all of them either. So some of them you can see, and probably towards the end, if we get to chat with each other, probably I can give you a bit more information about what type of courses we offer. So it's not that we and architecture, we are probably the best in Australia, #1, and globally we rank in top 5 or sometimes top 10. So that means our education is valued not only by ourselves or our student, but also all the stakeholders around the globe. So in terms of graduate employment, we pay a lot of attention that, okay, it matters what we teach in the class, but it also matters how industry and employers see what our graduates are learning and what they are capable of delivering. So this is reflected in the ranking of, we are 7th in Australia and 74th globally. So as you can see, in terms of qualifications, we offer 450 plus qualification, which is quite wide range of offerings. So not only we kind of pay attention to the quality, reputation, graduate employment, and satisfaction, we also think about our society and environment, right? And what better way than considering United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So you can see that RMIT is kind of paying active attention to achieving UN SDGs. So we kind of underpin sustainability in everything that we do, right? So when we teach, we incorporate sustainability in our courses, right? When we do research, we take sustainability as key focus areas. And when we engage with our partners, we also use sustainability as a way to engage with each other. And if we see that a partner is not paying attention to sustainability or disregarding sustainability, we are not interested in partnering with them, because we value in long-term impact, and sustainability is the only way we can achieve that. So in our university, we have a system to kind of count as to how we are performing as part 17 sustainability goals. And I just put some as an example. And then I mentioned about the partners. We have over 13,000 industry partners. Those are connected with RMIT directly and indirectly. And as you can see, there are some names on the board. And there are many other companies, world leader companies. We have not put it there, but pretty much from small and medium enterprises to the top multinational companies. We work with all range of organizations. So what makes us unique is our global presence. So we are not offering all these things in Australia. We are offering these in different locations around the world. As you can see, we have presence in Europe, Barcelona. So this is actually a hub for Europe. So our researchers actually do engage with European researchers, apply for grants, undertake a lot of research, and this office is actually working as a hub. We have very strong presence in Vietnam. So in Vietnam, we have 3 offices currently, and it is growing. If you Google search or ask someone, they will tell you that RMIT is the #1 business school in Vietnam. So very, very strong. And then we have 3 campuses within Victoria. We have a partner in Singapore. We teach a lot of courses with this partner, and the student numbers are increasing all the time. We have presence in China, Hong Kong, Indonesia, and India. India is also a growing market for us. But we are not stopping there in our future strategies. We are focusing on Middle East, Asia, and Africa. So these are the kind of focus areas for our universities' growth. So I see that the engagement that we are doing with you, it would be one of the strong engagement in future going forward. I think there would be a lot of engagement with this area as well as some parts of Africa, because in our view, these are the growth areas. And as you know, that some of the Western countries have saturated in terms of their economic growth and innovation. So you see a lot of innovations are happening in this part of the world. So I like you to join us to be part of that journey, and hopefully in future we'll demonstrate that this part of the world has like a strength in terms of leading the world. So a bit more information about Vietnam. As I mentioned earlier, the 3 campuses there, over 1,000 staffs. We have 14,000 students. And as you can see, they're quite resourceful, because every year they're offering a lot of scholarships to Vietnamese students and those students who want to study in Vietnam. So over $20 million were given as a scholarship. And it is also in the Australian political radar. you can see our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, is visiting Vietnam, and he's trying to strengthen the relationship that we currently have. So now, I just want to check whether you have any question so far in terms of what been presented or discussed.
Yes. Do you plan to have a branch for RMIT here in Saudi?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. Thank you. Yes, and if you ask me personally, I would say yes. But you know, in order to get a formal campus, I think we need to kind of develop our collaboration and partnership a bit further, and this is why we are here tonight, right? So we want you to come to Melbourne, enjoy RMIT, learn the way we do business, and then once we have a cohort of students who are graduated from RMIT and like kind of in key positions in Saudi Arabia. So I think this is a natural progression, but for that we need to work as a team. We need to do more of what we are currently doing. So that's why I welcome all of you to choose Australia, particularly RMIT, for your future studies. And you have, tonight we have our lovely host, and they're here to help you from start to the finish. So you are in a very capable hands. So please take this opportunity so that one day we can have a bigger presence, not only in Saudi Arabia, probably in the region. So thank you again for the question. So now I'll probably introduce our college. So as I said that so far I talked about RMIT as a whole university, and most of the ranking actually happen at the university level. But we also need to understand what happens in different colleges. So this is the College of Business and Law, and we have schools within that college. So you can see I'm from School of Accounting, Information Systems and Supply Chain. We have School of Finance, Economics, Finance and Marketing. We have School of Law. We have School of Management. And then the other school, it is actually our school in Vietnam. So probably in future, Saudi Arabia could be in the map if we can grow. So I probably skip this one because we have this ranking. Probably I need to say something about this. So this ranking is actually focusing on our school, right? So far we kind of presented our position and ranking as a university. But if you look at College of Business and Law, we have impressive performance as well. So we are number 2 in the whole world in terms of blockchain. As you know, blockchain is a buzzword. You know, we hear it so often. In terms of accounting and finance, we are 8th in Australia and within 100 in the whole world. Anyone in this room interested in accounting, finance? You are? Fantastic. You are going to love our courses or what we got to offer, because we have world-leading faculties and professors who does top-level research, and they bring the research into the classroom for their teaching. And it's a highly impressive result. To make their communication effective. So we prefer this through this blended learning. And then we have flexibility for students because we are big. We have a lot of classes for courses. So student can choose their own time. They can choose using technology to join the class online, so and so forth. And then Last two are quite important for us. As I mentioned earlier, probably at the risk of repeating myself, that we focus in long-term impact in society and environment. And this is what we say social impact, right? And currently our motto is use technology for social impact. So we are kind of connecting technology with making long-term impact. And then indigenous perspective. I'm sure many of you in the room know that Australia is a new country, but history goes back to 50,000 years through indigenous people, right? Who are the original owner of the land. So we acknowledge this at the beginning of the class, most of the time, beginning of the meetings and seminar and workshop as a constant reminder that, you know, this lucky country was given by its original people, right? So those who are currently working and living in Australia, we are getting a lot of benefits and resources, but this is actually the original contributors are indigenous perspective. And indigenous perspective is sustainable because if you look at how they have looked after the country for 50,000 years, you know, you'll see that they know something that we don't know. So we try to understand that how actually they viewed the world, how they viewed the land, how they treated animals, how they treated their forests, how they managed their resources, right? And those knowledge are actually so valuable in order to shape our ideas for modern businesses. So we try to learn those unique ideas, and these are very helpful for our innovation as well. So we bring this in our classroom as a part of our teaching. We do some research focusing on indigenous perspective. So this is something close to our heart. So we don't not only just provide masters by research or PhD, we have very strong programs at undergraduate level and postgraduate level. So if you are interested in research, thank you very much. You are most welcome. But if you have friends or family members who is willing to do undergrad or postgrad, you can also think for the traditional subjects. So now I'll spend a few minutes to give you a bit of focus of our research from the college's perspective. So I'm going to talk about College of Business and Law and STEM. Obviously, I'm not STEM expert. I'm not from STEM, but Joseph, my colleague, he'll be able to probably give you a bit more information. If you have specific questions, he'll be able to answer those questions for you. But I'll do a little bit of overview so that if you are interested in science, technology, engineering, competing medical sciences, RMIT is also a good place for those courses. So in terms of research, as I shown you earlier, that we have a lot of good rankings based on our good research, but we don't just do research for the sake of research, not for the sake of ranking. We have our own mission and vision in terms of how we want to conduct our research work. So we will believe in evidence-based research, right? What it means is that if we can produce new evidence through our research, not only we get a degree at the end or we come up with some new solution for some problems, but it has wider implication in terms of policy development, changing practices, helping government to do its business, helping private organizations to carry on their business, helping not-for-profits and charities to do their business. So that means the research topic are relevant, right? They are transferable, and we believe in translation. That means if I do a PhD for 3 and 4 years, if no one is using it, right, after that, it will become a book in the shelf, right? No one will see it except you or your family. But if we pay attention to the areas that has opportunity for helping society or environment or making some changes, it could be organizational process change, it could be policy change, it could be practice change, whatever it is, it will become, you will translate your research into real life activities. And this is what we tell our PhD students, that if you're interested in PhD or master's by research, choose your topic wisely, right? Think about something that has lasting impact, it has society, it can be helpful to someone, somewhere, right? At least few people would be direct beneficial of your work, right? So this is what we are. We are not interested just doing theoretical work, right? We want our PhD graduates advanced theories as well as advanced practical knowledge in terms of processes and systems. And this is possible because we collaborate with industry partners, right? So when we have this type of active relationship, we always get their ideas, they also get ideas from us, and this also helps our PhD students in terms of thinking translation from their research. So what do we mean by social impact, right? So some of the you might ask that, okay, what type of topic or how I can address my topic then that will make more social impact, or it will become more transferable, or have the more opportunity to translate into real practices. So you can see some of the topics. So these are the examples only. So I'm using them not to say this is the area you need to work on, but this is just an example that whatever area you are interested in, probably you can shape your ideas so that you can do something new, something innovative, something which has a real life impact. So I'm sure you have understood so far that technology and society and business are blended together in RMIT. So we always think about how we can use technology to improve our lives, right? Improve our business. So as you can see that our students are working on identifying vehicle damages with AI. We have a lot of projects currently where students are using AI, machine learning in terms of helping businesses. So if we have this kind of practice-focused research, we'll be able to make a difference, not only in our life, but also other people's life and in the workplaces. So you can see that these are the project which other organizations are already using. So these are some examples of different disciplines within the college. So this is focusing on marketing and innovation. So I'm sure innovation is on the top of the agenda for Saudi Arabia, right? So you have 2030 vision, you have lots of mega projects, you have big ideas, you want to change the way things are done, right? So I think this is a time for you to join helping your country to become leader in those areas and choose your research project as per your country's innovation needs. Again, economics and markets, we have world-class research in these areas within the college. So this is another example of helping people to build sustainable and resilient housing in Bangladesh. So you know Bangladesh is not a rich country, a lot of challenges, natural disasters. People lose their, if someone loses their home, they can't rebuild it, right? So they cannot afford to build another house. So our goal is to build a house that will sustain through many challenges, right? climate challenges, like environmental challenges, human-made challenges. So this is one of the way to help people's life. So there are so many other projects like impacting real thing in real life. I hope this will not ask me to, not sure what is happening there. Something has happened. Bear with me and see whether we can make it responsive. Okay, so I think I was able to move the slides. So this one focuses our success from the College of Business and Law. So you can see a lot of activities are happening within this college. So researchers are applying for grants, and most of the research proposal involves PhD students. So there are many PhD students who are working in those funded projects. So when a professor writes a grant and receive money, they involve PhD students for collaborations. So we have a lot of research money coming in recently. And in terms of PhD cohort and the size, we are quite large. So you can see last year, just from our college, right, we had 60 PhD and master's graduations, right, just from one college. So we have other colleges. In our college, we have about 260 current PhD students. And I am the PhD program director for all these students. So when you apply in College of Business, particularly School of Accounting, Information Systems, Supply Chain, the application comes to me. So if you know someone who is looking for PhD in these areas, feel free to contact me. I'll leave my business cards. You can spread the word. You can take help from our local partners. And then when the application comes to me, I'll be able to help you with that. So I will skip that part given the time. I'll just probably show you a quick couple of slides from our STEM. So I'm sure some of you in the room probably interested in STEM. So I just want to show you what is happening there. So I think for this session, I have 8 minutes. Is that right? We targeted 7:30, and I'll finish probably a little bit earlier so that we get a couple of questions from the audience. So far, I kind of shown you the focus area, research focus activities from College of Business and Law, and this is from STEM. And as the name suggests, this is mainly technology focused, right? Science degrees, engineering degrees, computer science, biomedicine, so on and so forth. So if you are interested in this college, this is actually one of the flagship college for RMIT. You can see their ranking is quite impressive. In terms of subjects, you can see some of the subjects are. Is it? Oh, sorry. I think my slides were moving, but seems like.
It's very.
Should hold it.
Yes. So it is.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see whether I can unplug and plug again. Hopefully something will pop up. No. In the pocket? Hopefully it sticks. Can I hold? The slides are not coming up. Not sure why the slides are not up. Yeah, thank you. So, as you can see, subject-wise, STEM has world-leading subjects and disciplines. So, textile and engineering, 34, aerospace, we are 38, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, automation and control, they are world-leading subject areas. So, if you are interested in STEM, you could choose RMIT with high confidence. Our researchers are world leaders in some of the disciplines. So when we say STEM, you kind of see that it captures a wider range of areas as well. You can see we have engineering, we have sustainable art systems and infrastructure, we have manufacturing and materials. We are doing some nanotechnology, quantum physics, we have health and innovation, we have quite varieties of health and biomedical courses. So if you are interested in STEM, please look into these areas in terms of getting into more information. If you need further information on a particular subject or area, let us know. We'll be more than happy to share with you. So some of the advanced manufacturing and materials results, as you can see, they are probably one of the best in the world. Sustainable art systems, they are also receiving a lot of award from industry, from global institutions. They are partnering with top employers. They have a lot of research centers and research hub. So if you are considering your research degree, I think they are well equipped. They have a lot of resources. They have a lot of connections. You'll be able to work with world-leading organizations for your PhD projects. So I'll probably skip some of those things because, as I said, if you are interested in a specific area, we'll be able to help you with detailed information on a particular subjects. AI is nowadays everywhere, right? It's not just in STEM. In every parts of the university, we are trying to use AI and trying to teach students AI. Because if you are currently working, workplaces are also embracing these type of technologies. So we cannot, excuse me, I have a little bit of cold from my travel. So we are putting this at the forefront. So we want to capitalize the opportunity that are being offered by AI. So many people are afraid that what will happen if AI takes over, whether we'll have our profession, whether we'll have our job. But we say, look, this is just the beginning. We don't know how these things will evolve. But one thing for sure, every time there is something new comes up, people are always skeptical that probably it will destroy our job, it will reduce our job, right? It happened with all the inventions in the past. But see where we are. We are still moving on. We are like, we need more human resources than ever. So I think AI will create need for well-trained professionals in every discipline. So it is better to embrace AI, to use it for our benefit, not to be afraid of. So I will pause here, given the time limit. So this was 2 areas that I covered. firstly, I introduced RMIT and I talked about how RMIT is positioned globally and within the Australia. And then I given you information about College of Business and Law and STEM in terms of what are the key research areas, which areas we are world leading, how our industry partners and stakeholders are seeing our work, right? And how our PhD students are working in big name projects with their supervisors. So if you want to know particular things, for example, how you start your PhD application, how you start your first contact, how you find the best supervisor, I'm more than happy to take up those questions as well. Anyone got any burning question?
I have a question, please. I'm a student in RMIT, studying a master's degree of project management. And I want to ask you about HD degree. Is there any practical HD or all of our HD is based on research?
I think as I mentioned earlier, that for all our programs, we try to blend things with practical things, right? So whatever discipline or domain you choose, you'll see the practical side comes in your study. Because in our PhD, we have internship. We know internship is common for undergrad and postgrad, right? Everyone knows about this, but not many PhDs is offering you to do internship in a organization, right? And it speaks for itself that when you can do it, particularly when your project is relevant to industry partners, right? So they are always inviting us to send students to work with them in their offices. We have many students, they are working 3 days in RMIT campus and 2 days in the partner's office, right, in their organizations. So that means it tells that they are working on something that is extremely real and beneficial to the organization. Any other question? You can ask me anything, admission, scholarship, how we screen applications, what sort of things you need to submit.
How we can get an offer to PhD? What's the process to get offer?
Okay, so I think this is a great question, that how we can secure an offer. I would say it's a very easy process, right? Talk to people who can help you in order to prepare your paperwork. But in terms of paperwork, we, as you know, for research, the first thing we look at the students' background in terms of their marks from undergrad and postgrad. We want our students to have some research experience before coming to RMIT, right? So I encourage you to get involved with research if you are still studying, finishing your master's, right? If you have opportunity to do a small project, publish that project, right? It will put you at the higher place when we compare applications. So we receive lots of application each year, right? I'm just giving an example. Let's say we receive 100 applications per year. Our college offers only limited scholarship. Only 2-3 top students get that scholarship. Although for you, money is not a problem because you are bringing your government scholarship or employer scholarship. But in terms of admission, we also look at what is your background, what is your grade. Particular attention is paid in 2 things. One, how good is your research proposal? And in your research, whether you have opportunity to make a social impact, right? Whether you can change something for someone. It could be social, sustainability, environment, technology, changing business processes, right? Something new. So when we assess our application, we pay attention to this. So in terms of proposal, after the break, after the prayers, we have 2 more segments. One is how to develop your proposal, and then how to conduct research. So we'll use literature review papers as an example, but you can use this example for anything that you are interested in, right? So we'll share some ideas as to how you can develop your project, how you can write your research outputs, how you can publish. So these things matters when you apply for admission. So one thing for sure, without having little bit of research, gaining admissions becoming tougher and tougher. We understand that you are a very good student, you had good grades from your undergrad masters, but we want students who understand what is research, how research need to be done, have done some basic research with their supervisors or mentors or senior colleagues, because it shows your interest, right? It shows that you are preparing yourself, because we receive a lot of application, and how do we decide who deserves the spot, right? We need something that differentiates one student from the other. And these are the factors that contributes to the differentiations, right? If I have 10 applications with same grades, right, I need to look at, okay, whose proposal is interesting, whose proposal is strong, who is working on technology, who is working on sustainability, who has published before, who has done research methodology course, right, who has done internship, who has done project papers, right? So these things kind of help you to highlight your prospect and the opportunity. Yes?
Is there any benefits for those who have application before they start their PhD, like those without application?
Yes, it's another good question, because the normal idea that we do PhD or masters by research to learn research, right? So now the question becomes whether we need research before we start our PhD. Interestingly, the answer is yes. Even we are starting our PhD journey, we want little bit of background or foundation from our candidates, right? As I said, that it's not that you have to be breaking researcher or come up with some groundbreaking work, but it demonstrates that you are actually preparing yourself for a research journey, right? So it gives you the foundational knowledge, you understand what is research, how it needs to be done. So this actually helps, really, really helps. I'm sure you are not looking looking for scholarship, but those candidates coming from India, China, Bangladesh, Nepal, they can't study without scholarship, right? Yes. So we receive 50 applications from that area, only one application will get scholarship, right? So the candidate needs to show that, they have extra, yeah, exactly. So we feel that if you have opportunity, please engage with research activity. It helps your admission process. And one piece of advice, or probably a few before we wrap up, sometimes we see one students sending expression of interest to everyone in the faculty, right? Sometimes it dilutes your preparation or your understanding of area or who you like to work with, right? So as a PhD program director, one day I go to office and 10 colleagues will tell me, oh, Tarek, I got this email from a student who wants to do research. But I say, oh, another 4 or 5 colleagues also got it, right? So what happens, in our mind, we feel that this student actually doesn't know. They're just beating around the bush. They just think, okay, I will fire 10 bullets, at least one will hit the target, right? But it is waste of time. You need to be prepared. You need to understand who is the right professor for you. You need to understand where you can match the interest with you and your supervisor. And then I think that's why you need to talk with our local partners. They can help you to understand the process. And one expression of interest is enough, right? If I receive one email, that's enough, good enough. You don't need to send 10 emails to 10 colleagues with the same proposal, right? And don't copy and paste, right? I received same email, I don't know how, from different students, same language, same opening, same close. I'm very interested. You are the best professor. I think I'll be your best student, right? So you need to avoid those things. So I think less is more in this case. For example, if you're interested in a particular topic area, you can easily find who is the best researcher in RMIT, right? And you don't need to contact that professor directly. You can contact me. I can probably introduce you. I can probably give you some tips before you go to the professor, right? So professors are busy, and if they receive that many emails, they cannot pay attention to those expression of interest. And also proposal. Sometimes we get proposals. It seems like somebody else written it for you, right? If I interview you, probably you cannot say more about this proposal. So try to be genuine with your interest and take some interest in developing your own proposal, right? This shows that you are ready. It shows that you are among the top candidates, and it makes a lot of difference in terms of admission. The proposal is the first thing that a professor will look at. For me, as a PhD director, I look at your score from previous studies. I look at your experience. I look at your scholarship. Those guys, they don't look at those things. For them, only thing matters is the proposal, right? So it's better if you have a good proposal, you can increase your chances many folds. If you have a weak proposal, doesn't matter how many email you send, it's not effective. So that's why you can take the help of our local partners to get ready and move with preparation and do the right thing, right? Not trial and error basis. So you can reduce all those waste of time and energy and things. Yes?
So do we have to send the exhibition of interest along with the proposal to a specific supervisor before applying?
Yeah. So what happened is, if you don't have a supervisor, that's fine, because it is my duty to find a right supervisor for you. If you know the right supervisor, you make my life easier, right? Yeah, it is acceptable. But as I said before, that supervisors receive so many emails every day, right? If your proposal is not strong enough, right? If it doesn't stand out from the crowd, you will not get the attention. And then it will go to the spam folder and get lost. So it is better to find the PhD program director for the school or the college, make a contact, couple of lines is enough, right? That I'm interested, this is my background, what else you need from me to tell me whether I have a supervisor here or I have a chance for admission. That can be the beginning, right? And even in your first email, probably you don't need to send the proposal. You just need your CV and your interest in a particular area. When the process begins, then we'll ask you that, okay, give me your proposal, give me your transcript, give me your background, give me your research paper, give me your project paper, so on and so forth. So again, preparation is the key. Talking to the right person is key. Having little bit of patience saves a lot of time in the future, right? So take it. Be passionate. Take it seriously. You don't need 100 applications. You need one good application, right, for admission. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Tariq, for your insights and on the RMIT PhD student and on RMIT College Research Focus. And now we will take a break for Isha prayer and tea break, and we will see you at 8:15 p.m.
Not sure, probably it's coming from here.
Had a refresh break. Now we continues with important session on writing strategy for PhD student and research proposal development. To guide us through this topic, we have Dr. Tariq, who will share key insight and practical tips to enhance your academic writing skills.
Yes, this is enough, right? I don't need this. Okay. Other way. Thank you. Okay, thanks everyone. Welcome back. We received a couple of questions from previous session. I'd like to address this question before we move on to our next session. So first question, I think it is a common question from here. In terms of language requirement, the question was, is there a language requirement for PhD program for those who graduated from a country whose native language is English? So this is a very good question. Sometimes it could be tricky, but if we can demonstrate that your previous studies been conducted entirely in English and you have done it for a few years, I think we can help you without TOEFL or IELTS, as long as we can demonstrate that you have done enough learning in English over a certain period. Next question was how long it takes the turnaround time to get the offer for PhD. This is another good question, and I like to go back to my earlier advice that nothing beats your preparation. If you are organized, well prepared, it can happen in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, right? But if you are unorganized, you don't seek help from professionals, you just doing trial and error, it could take 6 months to 12 months. I have candidates who are doing this over and over again, probably for 2 years, still could not get an offer because they're lacking so many things, right? They don't do enough research, enough preparation, enough work. And next session would be helpful as well, because one of the problem we find is weakness in the proposal, right? So English we can overcome, because if you don't have it, you can do the English course, or if you can prove you have done enough learning in English, this is easy problem to solve. But proposal, right? Having a good proposal is the key for quick offer. So all those students who get quick offer, one thing is in common is having a good proposal, right? It distinguishes yourself from the crowd. So my answer is normally it takes 2-3 weeks in the school, right? So application comes to me. When I say application, it means complete application, not your first email, not your second email, right? The full email means your proposal, your transcripts, your English language proficiency, your commitment from your employer or government for your scholarship, right? So this is the whole package. So when we receive whole package, for me it's easy to look at them and if there is a supervisor already agreed, even better. If not, I can negotiate with someone and convince someone to supervise you. I can do it in 2 weeks. And then it goes to the School of Graduate Research. They can also do it in 2-3 weeks. Sometimes they're busy during the busy season, but we can follow up and make it a bit faster. And then it comes back to the school again, and for us is very quick. in order to issue a conditional offer, because if you have not got the scholarship already, then we cannot offer full admission. It would be conditional. And this conditional offer can be used to secure your scholarship from your employer or from the government, right? So this whole process can be done in 2 to 3 months, but I suggest you take professional help. You take help from our local partners. They can save a lot of time. And when they send the whole package, it's easy for us, easy for you, and it's a time saver. Last question. Some friends mentioned that RMIT University evaluates the doctoral thesis without a panel discussion. Is this true? So what I'm getting from the question is, probably it is referring to the Viva. In US and Europe, to some extent in US, Viva is part of the examination process, right? When you finish your thesis, submit it for examination, then you have to defend it orally, right? Either you defend it in front of a committee consisting of your supervisors and externals, or there is an external person invited to ask you questions. But in RMIT, we do it a little bit of differently. We don't call it Viva panel or defense. We have milestone. So we have 3 milestones internally consisting of your supervisors plus 2 members from the college, or it can be outside of college as well. So this panel makes sure that you are progressing well, you are doing good, you are making your research at an expected level. It happens at the end of the first year, end of second year, end of third year. First year is, we call it confirmation of candidature, right? So you come up with one proposal, but you end up with another proposal, because in 12 months you learn a lot. You do 3 courses, you read a lot of papers, you take advice from your supervisor, and your proposal tends to change a lot, right? I can't even remember which was my original proposal, right? By the time I graduated, it is something different. So that means you have to work hard in your first year to complete the coursework and then develop your proposal. Then the committee will ask you to make a presentation. It's a short presentation. First year, I think it's about 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. Second year and third year milestone is about 35 minutes. You present, and then rest 25 minutes is for question and answer. So this is how the Viva part is taken care of internally. So you don't have to go in front of some external examiner. I hope that's answered some of the questions. So let's move on to the next topic. So we have 2 remaining topics for the night. I know after these 2, there would be dinner, and I don't want to keep you away from the dinner, right? This is too dangerous. Being in the middle of dinner and hungry human being, right? So I don't want to delay the dinner. So what will happen between now and then is I'll talk about little bit as to help you how to prepare your proposal. I am referring it many times. That proposal is sometimes it's a game breaker or maker. If you can spend some time and do a good proposal, it can take you a long way. And then the remainder of time, I will share some strategies for academic writing. I'm sure most of you in the room know how to write, right? But I'll share my perspective. Academia is like that. No one agrees with other person, right? So you will hear this from me, you will hear something else from other people, or you might have heard something already, or you already know, right? If you know everything that I'm going to say, please be patient, right? And then probably we can exchange our views after my discussion. Last thing, during the presentation, feel free to raise your hand and ask question. I'm not asking you to hold all your questions for the end, because I always like to answer questions as we go, because it makes everyone's life easier. So let's start with the proposal. When I say proposal, it's for Masters by Research and PhD, right? It depends on which one is on your agenda. So the first thing that we look at when we receive a proposal is to identify, oh, sorry. Hopefully it will pop up soon. Yes. So first thing we want to check is what you are going to do, how you are going to do it, why you need to do this research, and the bold question of so what. So in academia, people are very rude. You have done the good work, you have shown everything, and then they will ask, why, like, why it matters, right? So what, you have done this. So this is kind of a cruel world, but we are used to living this. But if you know how to structure your proposal, doesn't matter how hard the evaluator is, you can convince them, right? Always remember these 4 prompts, right? So you need to explain what you are doing, right? It's easy, right? Because you have a passion for a topic, or you are interested in a topic, but you just need to frame it in a way that meets the standard of academic conversation, right? So it is mainly about referring to something in the literature which already exists, right? It's not about something I'm going to invent or something I'm going to innovate, right? We are not asking you to say something new. What means you are referring to a particular reference from the literature, that okay, this literature says this literature says that, but we seems to less understand this bit, or we don't not 100% sure about this one, or some studies kind of found positive results, some studies found a negative result, right? Which way we go. So that means there is a dispute, and probably my research will help to reduce the dispute, or at least you can increase the dispute. But you have to have this for your proposal, right? I would say start with this, that what's the problem you are going to address, right? So when we say gap, which is a popular word, right? We're actually highlighting a problem. And many students ask me that where I get the problem, right? Where does problem exist, right? I tell my students that problem exists in your head. You just need to pull it out. You can imagine a problem, right? That's the beauty of academia. There is nothing on the wall, but I can start conversation saying that, oh, I can see a pattern, I can see in a square, I can see a rectangle. So whatever comes to your mind, you can make a problem with that. So what I'm saying is, if you read some literature, right, then it's up to you how you want to make problem with this, right? We all have some friends or family members who always find problem in other people, right? We all have that uncle who comes to the table and start poking people and asking, naughty questions and annoying people. Every family got that annoying member. So as an academic, we need to be that annoying member of the family. Why? Because we'll ask those stupid questions. Oh, it doesn't make sense. Why you are saying this? You should be thinking about that. We should be thinking about that. You have not thought about that. This is what we start our research, right? If we accept everything which has been already said and in the literature, how come I say I'll do something new? In order to do something new, I have to challenge other people. I must say I don't agree with you. Doesn't matter who you are. I see it was not done properly. You have done it, but you have not considered this is this, right? So this is how you create problem. So it's like picking up a fight, In schoolyard, you will see that some students just wants to fight with other people, right? He will find a way to start fighting. We need to be that kid who can start the research by saying, this is not good, this is not enough, this is not working, right? My job is to fix it. This is how problem comes. It's not written on the wall, it's in your mind, you just pull it out in your own way. Nobody is going to prosecute you if you say wrong things. Because we are researchers, we can say things as long as we can justify, right? So this is how you start finding a problem. And then you need to just use literature to justify what you are saying. Nobody will believe Tarek, right? I'm no one. But if I say, Mr. Professor X, Professor Y said this, then we'll say, okay, Tarek is saying the truth because he's referring to something we can verify, right? So some proposal just say there is a gap, this is the problem I want to address, but there is no reference to where the problem is coming from, where the topic is coming from, who said what, right? We have to create chaos among other people, right? You know how Western world operates, like they just start problem in different places, right? Why? Because they can get the benefit out of this. As a researcher, we should start problem with the literature. We say, oh, this guy said this one, but other is disagreeing, right? So I need to fix this one. Or I know this one is working in this context, but who said it will work in the Saudi context, right? It's working in Australia. Who cares about Australia? Let's see whether it works in Saudi. That should be your approach. Then we can see that, oh, you have the, guts to challenge others. You have the kind of way to finding a problem in others. So the more problem you can think of, the more question you can ask, the better is your research, because you are challenging status quo, you are challenging what we already know. So having said that, we have to pay attention to the depth, right? I can say anything I like, right? But I need to say in a deeper level, right? Not just at the surface. So we have to go into the deeper conversation, and then we can say that, okay, this is not working, this is not understood, this is not established, right? But you have to use strategy in order to go into the deeper level. And in my second half of the presentation about the strategy, I'll show you some strategy that how you can go into the deeper level. Then the most important thing is how. How is actually the feasibility question. Okay, I understand you want to change the world, you want to make it a better place, you want to change this process, right? But how you are going to deliver what you said you would, right? So as an academic, we need to follow some scientific process, right? I cannot say, oh, I read it in the Facebook, right? And this is how. That's not acceptable, right? Or my friend says that, my parents said that. No, we need to follow a established outline or structure in order to gather the evidence. The evidence can come from many places. If you are in pure science, it will come from lab, right? If you are in social science, it can come from anywhere. It can come from social media, it can come from textbook, it can come from interview, it can come from survey, right? It can come from experiments. So it depends what you need in order to do your job. It's kind of showing that, okay, I understand what tools are necessary in order to do this job. That should be enough to convince that, okay, I understand what materials I need, what method I need, what strategy I need. So it's a kind of a feasibility question. Because so many things we can say, but if you ask me how I'm going to do it, I can't give you a good answer because I did not think about it. I just thought about the game-changing idea, but how this idea will be translated into something that will give us hard evidence so that I can show you that, okay, this is what I got for you, and now you don't have to believe me, you just need to believe my evidence. So it is kind of using the right things in order to do your research. Why is a tricky question, right? Everyone in the academia, doesn't matter how long you have worked, how long you have been publishing, you have to face this question. It is a kind of way to highlight the importance of your work, right? So you need to say, I'm doing this. Most of the proposal we see, it goes back to the what. So when they come in this paragraph, I suggest you have at least one paragraph for all four, right? So when people comes to why, they always go back to the what and say, I am doing this because of the problem in the literature, the gap, right? That's not what we are looking for. We are looking for, you have to develop a logic, or you have to show me a rationale that why this research addresses an important question, or why this research need to be done, why this research need to be done now, why this research need to be done by you, why not someone else, why you want to do it, why you want to do it in Saudi, right? You have to answer these questions to highlight the importance. It's not that, oh, no one has done it, or I find a gap, right? That's not enough. You have, whatever argument you can, you have to develop this, because it shows that you are a critical thinker. You can develop your logic, you can develop your rationale, and then you can convince people that your research will bring something new, right? It will bring something important, and then people will understand something from your work. And then the naughty question, right? When they cannot attack you with what, they can't attack you with how, they can't attack you with why, then they will say, so what? You know, we have these people in our life as well, right? Doesn't matter how good your story is, they say, so what? You know, I have done better, right? I know this already. So this is actually that how it will transform something, right? Remember in the last session, I talked about translation. It is about the translation story. That why government of Saudi or Australia will invest in your research, right? So it's kind of impact. You are showing that it's not my degree. It's not just about my degree. I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about my country. I'm thinking about the society. I'm thinking about the organizations, right? So you are asking what you need, but you are showing other people, right? So it's like a girl who wants to get married, right? And she's praying all the time, but she doesn't say she wants to get married. When people ask why you are praying so much, she will say, if mom asks this question, she will say, I'm praying for a son-in-law for you. And then when brother asks, he'll say, I'm praying for a brother-in-law for you. So you can say the same thing, but in a different way. So this is the so what, that it matters. It matters because you need something, country needs something, organization needs something, right? So this is kind of impact of our work. And most of the proposal at the beginning does not show it. But if you can consider it in your proposal, you can go long way, because it like shows the difference between other proposals, right? Because it's a deeper level thinking. It's not the repetition of what we have said in what, why, and how, right? It's something new. It has to be different. So think about how your research benefits others, right? So you thought about literature, you thought about theory, you thought about methodology, but now you think about real world. You know, in the last sessions, there was a question about real world. So this is about real world. What real benefit your research will bring, right? It could be to the government, it could be to the society, it could be the environment. So when you think about your proposal, I suggest that you consider a few things, right? Don't just always go after the most shiny thing, or everybody is doing sustainability, I have to do it. Everybody is doing technology, I have to do it. You have to remember, at the end, you need to be an expert of something. And at the end, you have to work on it for 3-4 years. If you are not genuinely passionate about this, right, you will lose interest, right? It's like in a second marriage, right? You need to think, I'll spend rest of my life with this topic, right? So we need to take a vow that this person would be my partner for the rest of my life. So this topic would be my interest for the rest of my life. If you don't find this, keep looking. If you don't find this, keep looking. Don't just settle for short time. Oh, after 4 years, I'll change. After 10 years, I'll change. Find something that you can live with for the rest of your life, right? It will keep your interest. So that's why I say take it slow. Just think about it, what you are passionate about, what keeps you awake at the night, what gives you extra energy, right? So how you feel connected with the particular topic. So it's a good way because PhD journey is a tough one. It's a lonely journey, lot of things. And I have my own PhD student here. Sorry to put you on the spotlight, Iyad. Probably Iyad can give you a couple of experience from his journey. So it is a tough journey, right? So you need to have something you are really passionate about and you can live with it for the rest of your life. I know people don't keep their words. They will change their mind. They will do something different. But that's not the question. The question is which one you think is the topic that you can work on for remainder of your career. Why? Because you are investing in it, right? Investing 4 years of time, 4 years of your life into something you are not passionate about, you are not serious about. I think this is the costly mistake. It could be the most expensive mistake in your life, right? Because if you invest something 4 years of your life, you should be take the benefits for the rest of your life. I have seen many professors who have become professor from PhD student based on their PhD thesis. They have published 8 papers in top journals because they were so passionate, they were so engaged, they took it so seriously. They have done something beautiful, right? So you consider this when you develop proposal. Don't look at what X is doing, what Y is doing, Y, Z is doing, let alone copying from others. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself, right? Because you are pretending to be someone else. You are pretending to be your friend. You are pretending to be someone in the online who is writing proposal for everyone else, right? Just be yourself. Just be yourself. Don't think that someone else is better than you. Don't think that they have better idea than you. Don't think that their topic is more interesting than you. Just think, whatever you are interested in, you will invest. In our life, if we invest in something, I can guarantee, doesn't matter what, you will get the result. You just need to be passionate about this, hardworking about this, honest about this, and the success will follow. But early success, I can save few hours of time if I get a copy of a proposal, right? Or I can get this idea from here, idea from there. If we get different things from different places, what we get? We get Frankenstein. We don't get any beautiful human being, right? You know how Frankenstein was created, putting parts from other bodies. So don't do that. You have good ideas. Allah given us, wisdom in all of us. Just tap onto it, and then we can achieve our ideas. So that's probably about the proposal. I like to leave some time for your question, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have. No question is a bad question, only bad answer. I can give you bad answer, but for you, all questions are great questions. So while you are thinking, I will put the spotlight back on Iyad. Iyad, can you summarize your experience with the proposal and then how your PhD journey has transformed your initial idea into a finished, polished PhD? And by the way, Iyad did a very good job. He was one of the best students. He made a good name because of the hard work. And he can also ask his help. He's a local person.
Thank you, Larry, for giving me this chance to speak about my experience. I just graduated recently from my PhD, so and Tariq was my main supervisor. I think most important thing in doing a PhD is to think about if you're just taking the step to write a proposal by thinking about what you are interested in. As well, think about what's the benefit of PhD for you. Maybe not everyone could do a PhD. As well, PhD is not for everyone. A PhD is maybe dedicated to people who want to do some academic work after graduation, or maybe PhD is for people who want to learn more things about something in specific in some areas. I think this is very important step before taking big decisions before going to PhD and do PhD, because it's a long journey, very long journey, lots of difficulties, but at the same time, which I always say to everyone, it is not difficult. There are also many people doing PhD with different capacities, and they are all graduated successfully. This journey is long, but all depends on your capability and as well about the time you invest during your studies. Lots of things you could get from that PhD, especially if you are specialized in some areas. You will learn more about it, and definitely your supervisors will help you to reach the end of that journey. I do know that I don't want to take your time. Just this is what I want to say, and I haven't been informed about talking in front of you guys, but thank you, time for giving me the chance.
Sure. Thank you. So, another thing that I get most often is how do you know which one is a good idea? Where I get the interesting ideas, right? So, interesting ideas are always outside of our office, right? Outside of university libraries. If someone spend all their time in libraries and looking for ideas, right, it would be a difficult journey. Why? Because all these things that have been produced and written about and published in a book, it has been already past, right? It happened a few years back. It happened many years back. We can learn some good lesson from those, but if you're looking for new idea, if you're looking for a real problem, don't look at within the four walls of your library or your office or your house, all right? You can get ideas by talking to someone. You can get ideas by watching a movie. You can get idea by reading a newspaper. You can get idea looking at what is happening around you, right? You can generate hundreds of ideas just observing people, what is going around, what is happening, what people are talking about, what are the problem, people keep referring to all the time. And then you go back to the literature and see what actually has happened about this in the literature, right? But interesting things happen in real life. It doesn't happen in books or journals, right? So journals and books are already past. It's the history. If you want to do something groundbreaking, you have to think about how people do things in their offices, how people make decisions, what happens when something happens, right? So these are the good sources of ideas. So think about social problem, think about environmental problem, think about problem in your discipline, right? So if you think that how you can improve on something or what things will help others, that's the source of good ideas, right? Don't just have to read 100 papers to come up with a good idea. Again, I say the good idea is in your head, good proposal is in your head. You just need to let it come out and develop it further. Of course, there are certain style and format that we look for in a proposal, but you are the owner of your ideas, right? Nobody will say, this is not going to happen, as long as you can justify what, how, why, and so what. you can do PhD on anything, right? You'll be surprised that the topic of people's PhDs, some very weird things, some uncommon things, some controversial things. But as long as you follow your interest, as long as you are committed, you'll find it. And again, this is just the beginning, right? We are asking so much of you at the beginning, but it is a beginning, right? That's not the end product. After 3 years and 4 years of hard work, it would be something different. But if you prepare yourself by keeping these things in mind, you will differentiate yourself from other candidates. Your supervisors will reply your email, right? I hear, I did not get a reply 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So you need to attract attention from others as well. So your proposal is the key way to attract supervisors' attention, right? I guess no question on the proposal. So look like we have fair bit of understanding what goes in the proposal. If you have any question or anything comes to your mind afterwards, feel free to reach out to us, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question. So this is about writing. So it's not all about proposal writing. It's not all about paper writing. It's about overall academic writing. So when we say academic writing, we mean a style of writing which is different than other type of writing, right? So if you talk to your friend, you use a different language or vocabulary. When you talk to your parents, you talk in a different vocabulary. When you play games online, they have their own lingo, right? They use some shortcuts which I don't understand, but other people understand because they are in the same game. So we are in the game of academia, right? Our job is to write in a way that is acceptable in academic world, the way other academics are used to, the way other academics will understand what we are trying to say. So this is all about style. It's not that it is better than others, right? I'm not saying that academic communication is the best communication. I can't say this because most of the time people read our papers and they don't understand what we are saying, what we have done, right? But other academic probably will at least understand something because we use some common vocabulary, common language, common style, common format, right? So this is all about that. So nothing is superior or inferior. It's about how we can bring people closer to us using language and style and format, and we will call it academic writing. It could be your essay, it could be your proposal, it could be your thesis, it could be your term paper, anything that requires other people's attention. You can use some of the strategies. So these strategies are only one perspective. These are not all inclusive, just examples only. I'm sure these will give you some ideas about something, and then the rest you can follow your curiosity. So don't take it that it is kind of a formula or a silver bullet. It is just a perspective in terms of what we believe. But in academia, there is always alternate views. So, is it formal or informal? The tone of our academic writing should be formal, and the way we approach this writing also need to be formal. It's not that, I'm writing an email, I can just jump on my keyboard and just write whatever comes to my mind without pre-thinking or having some thoughts, right? Sometimes we are very quick with our text. I know some people reply me, I thought he did not finish my text, but I got the reply. So very quick. No, they don't reflect on it, they don't think about it, they just reply. So that's not a formal approach to something, right? Formal approach is you take time, You think about the purpose, you think about the structure, you think about whether people are getting what you are saying, you think about whether it is within the customs of academic writing, right? So it's both the tone and the language. And then in our language, we try to be impersonal. So when you write proposal or paper, don't just use I, we, right? You just try to be distant from the subject. That will create little bit of impartiality or objectivity. You just want to write it from the distance. And sometimes we become too confident or too oversure, right? We say something with conviction, right? I know this is it, right? That's a human nature, because when you are passionate about something, you become argumentative, you become very strong in your opinion. But although your result shows that you have every right to say what you are saying, but we say it with a bit of grain of salt, right? We kind of leave a space just in case I'm wrong, just in case my result is not right, just in case someone else have a better result, right? So we leave this space when we write, right? We don't just say, I'm right, you are wrong. We kind of cushion it around, right? We just make some space so that other people can challenge us. And then most important is reference. If I see a proposal without reference, it's a big no-no. I don't even want to ask for another version. For me, it would be kind of a reject, because someone willing to do a PhD, right, send me a proposal with references, and references comes within the text and after the text as a end list. If I don't see both of them, it's off-putting. I have serious doubt about the student and their ability to do academic writing. So always reference, right? So I have my supervisor used to, at first when he received something, he checked the page number. If somebody forgot to put page number, he will think that, not serious. Not serious, because you did not consider putting page number on your document, right? So don't let others to doubt your work, right? You just need one drop of bad things to spoil the good thing, right? And reference is one of them. So in terms of academic writing, we want to be accurate, but we don't want to be exaggerating our beliefs, and we just need to make it clear for others to understand, right? Because the whole purpose of writing is communication, right? And the objective of communication is that other people understand what I'm saying. Doesn't matter how good I am, if you don't understand me, everything is lost, right? So the key message here is what I'm writing, communication, when communication happens, when other people understand, right? But if I don't understand someone, he's not communicating. He's probably signaling something that I don't understand, or he's speaking some foreign language that I don't understand, right? So communication doesn't happen until the other party understand what I'm trying to say. So although it's formal, although we have our academic way of writing, but it needs to be simple, clear, and easy to understand. And on the other side, to make something understandable, we cannot just spend page after page to explain something, or we cannot over-explain. I explain something once and then come back and then explain others again and again. We see this, right? Once you establish something, that's it. You don't have to redo the same thing. If something new comes in, you can explain it. So we need to be brief, we need to be clear, and we need to be accurate. Why accurate, and how can I establish that what I'm saying is accurate? Remember earlier I said doesn't matter what I'm saying, people will say, oh, he's just saying his thing, right? If I don't provide reference, don't provide citation, don't provide evidence, no one will believe me. People don't want to believe their prophets, who I am, right? So even with all this evidence, still people don't believe. Some people do, some don't, right? With all this hard evidence. Imagine what will happen when we don't have evidence. People will say, garbage. So don't let people to think about this, right? What you are saying is not you. Whatever you're saying is not garbage because of this. So show the evidence, show the reference, show the citation. Only then it would be, most of the time academics, when they read, they don't read what you are saying. They read the references you use. Because if I'm reading something in my discipline, in my area, if I don't see certain reference, I know this is not good, right? Because in my brain is expecting to see something. If you don't show it, then it's not good for me. And then I read what you are writing about those things. Because I know already what those people have said, right? In the literature, what's been done, what's been discussed. But I want to see that you have identified those. I don't judge you whether you are right or wrong. I judge whether you know that these things exist and you are providing that evidence, right? So some students try to be very clever with their own writing, and they forget about that, who cares about people's writing, right? We care about literature, we care about references. If I don't see enough references, doesn't matter how smart you are, whether ChatGPT has written it for you or somebody else has written it for you, I don't care because I don't see my references. So for academic, this is very customary. We always look out for those things. So relevant. How these things are relevant. For example, in the beginning, I said what, how, why, so what, right? In explaining all those things, if you go to different direction, then it loses its relevance, right? Every time you need to come back to the core point, right? So you need to think about your research idea, you need to think about your research question, and it will hold everything else, right? If we don't follow this, it would be irrelevant. Why? Because at the beginning I'm talking about A, and then second paragraph I'm talking about B, third paragraph I'm talking about C. It is becoming irrelevant already, right? So we cannot afford to do that. We need to keep our focus. And what can help us to keep the focus is our research question or the problem that we are thinking about. So, of course, we see how our writing is organized and whether we are organizing it in academic way, right? So we need to understand that how academics write papers, how they organize their thoughts, what comes after what, right? If you read few paragraphs, you'll see that there is a pattern. How they're linking one paragraph with others, how they're linking one sentence with the other sentence, how they're moving from A to B, B to C, right? It's not that you are inventing, it's already there. You just looking at other people's work to understand, oh, this is how it's done, right? So we just need to learn how it's done, and then that's it. We don't. That means we are following the conventions. We know how people behave in these particular things. For example, in a written piece of work, doesn't matter what you are doing, your assignment, your essay, your term paper, your proposal, your thesis, you will start with, right, introduction, right? And then you will go to the literature, then you talk about theory, methodology, your analysis, your findings, your discussion, your conclusion, right? Not necessarily you will have all of them, but at least you will follow the customs, the way we start, the way we close. I'm sure this is very familiar things to you that we start with introduction and finish with conclusion. In between, we have a few things, right? You always need to have a key sentence for you to demonstrate that this is your topic area. If every sentence become your key sentence, then people will struggle to identify where you're interested most, right? If I'm making every statement a powerful statement about something, then we are losing the battle already, right? We just need to make sure there is a one main point, one main theme, one main topic, and everything else is supporting actors, right? In a movie, there is only one hero, one heroine. If you want to make everyone hero, then everyone is zero, right? Just make one thing your top thing, and then use everything else to support it, right? You provide reference, you provide logic, you provide, discussions just to establish that. So I see sometimes every paragraph becomes the key paragraph. Every sentence becomes something very strong. You just need only one strong sentence, right, to establish your research, and then use everything else to support it. Because even with everything else, we can't sometimes support one sentence. It's really hard to establish one point, right? We have to spend a lot of time and energy to make one single point. So some example of how we can become a bit more formal, at the same time neutral. So some of the examples are here that when we talk, sometimes we use a bit of informal, but when we write, we pay attention to certain things, right? Instead of saying 4 words, we just express in 1 word. This is wise, this is time consuming, saves time, saves energy, and it brings some formal tone to our writing. So probably I can share some of the things with you later on, but there are some examples in here that give you a different taste of the same thing, right? They're talking about the same thing, but because of the tone, because of the language, because of the formality, it gives you a different impression, right? I'm sure in the room, someone will think that first one reads better, or the second one reads better, or third one reads better. Or, right, if we probably will agree that, okay, probably one is better than the others, right? So we need to have that kind of sense about our writing, that which one falls in the category of academic writing, which satisfies the formality, clarity. So we can't be too formal, we can't be too informal, and sometimes we cannot be too clever. What we mean by too clever is see the words being used, right? Somebody has looked at the synonyms and used the most toughest one, right? Just to express the same things. If you can say or express something with easy words, do it. You don't have to show your academic mindset using tough words, right? It loses its readability. It shows that you are trying to convince others with your language. You don't have to convince others with your language, because if your language is clear, people will be convinced about it anyway. So sometimes we beat around the bushes, we try to over establish, but sometimes if you are simple and if you are specific, people will get the idea across. Don't make things complex. Sometimes we overthink, sometimes we underthink, but sometimes it's better, probably it's always better to express your ideas in a simple way. So again, these are the example of how you can express same things, right? So if you look at the first sentence, does it say much about what you are talking about? Do you get the full sense of what they're trying to say? Which one is better? Second one? Second one? No, just look at the sentences. You don't need to overread. Just read these and see which one expresses idea.
I think second one is more.
Okay, so seems like second was is winning, right? Because first one, it doesn't say much. So one is giving you too much details and the other one is not showing you enough. And the middle one, probably you can say that probably it's good, but probably it needs some references, some explanation, right? So first one, what do you mean by too much? What is too much? How much is too much? So academics always ask these type of questions which you need to avoid. Sometimes we see students and even some academics, they try to solve things very quickly. They come up with solution very quickly, right? If you ask them to read something, the next day they come back and say, oh, I found the answer. Remember what Einstein said. If you understand the problem, half of your job is done. You don't have to do 100%. Understanding the problem is the key, even for your research proposal. If you can just establish the answer, that's question, that's enough. Nobody is expecting answer, right? Don't rush into answer, don't rush into solution. Just establish the question and your analytical mindset, that's it. That would be enough even for our some of our research papers. So I think there are some examples. They're coming back. Probably I will share some of the materials with you. Probably we don't need to go through each and every one. But at least I'm trying to say is it deserves your attention. It deserves some reflection, right? It deserves some critical thinking from your side. What you need to do is read your own writing. I have seen many people have rushed in writing and then they did not have time to check. They just press the send button very quickly. Reading your own work is the best favor you can do to yourself. Every time you'll find things that you can improve. Even professors, before they finalize their paper, they read their own draft probably 20 times. Still, reviewers are not happy. We are talking about professors with many years of experience. So there are certain things I could probably elaborate on, but I just wanted to highlight a few things that you can take home. These are the things you could always find on the net as well, right? One quick Google search, one quick YouTube search will give you lots of tips on writing. Okay, I just want to highlight a couple of things before I open up for questions. I think we are reaching our time. Think about your document or a proposal as a body, right? In human body, have you seen things coming up twice, 3 times, 4 times? We have one head, 2 legs, two hands, right? One mouth. If you overdo, what will happen? Would it look good? No? Allah made us beautiful, right? Because given us things like, most of the things once or twice. So in your writing, think about this. Don't say one thing over and over again. Don't think that that, I use this 4 times and it would be strong. You just make a sense and then move on to the next one. So you need to have a topic sentence in your paragraph, right? And then you support your sentence with evidence and assumptions and what other people have said. And then you can have something to wrap up your paragraph. But you need to link your paragraph A with paragraph B with paragraph C. So this last sentence has a role to play. It's work as a hook. It takes you to the next paragraph. So open with one idea, then you develop this idea with the evidence, assumptions, and what you have, and then close it. Close it such a way that leaves a room for the next paragraph, right? Don't close the whole thesis in one paragraph. So if we pay attention to these things, we can understand the role of each paragraphs and role of each sentences, right? Some sentence help us to open up a conversation. Some sentence help us to justify that. Some sentence help us to close it. So every sentence has its role, and we need to let this sentence to do their job, right? Otherwise, it will not be readable. We talked about topic sentence before. Okay, so this is what I have been saying, that in one paragraph, if you have a few sentences, try to categorize them in these 3 columns. So you don't need more than one sentence for your key argument. One sentence should be enough for your key argument. Column 2, you can provide multiple sentences to show the examples, show the assumptions, show the different varieties. And then you can probably close it with another sentence. I have referred this already, so let's skip. Don't use too much abbreviation, don't generalize too much. If you have something weak in your essay or proposal, take it out. Don't show your weakness to others. Don't show your dirty laundry to everyone. Yeah, keep it in a hiding place. So sometimes we oversay and we make ourselves vulnerable, weak. We don't need to do this. They are unnecessary. Okay, I'll probably stop here, because from now on it's all about how you use quotation, how you use numbers in your text, how you, it's mainly about the conventions. And as I mentioned, one simple search will give you this type of references. I just wanted to draw your attention that whatever you do, it requires your attention, it requires your reflection, it requires some critical thinking, right? And no one can produce the best draft in their first draft, right? It takes many iterations, going backward and forward and looking at ways for improvement. So that would be it from my side. But now I'd like you to ask some questions. Anything about even your own experience, reflection about writing something?
How long does it take to do it nowadays?
How long?
How many years?
Yeah, 3 to 4.
It should be less, I believe, with AI.
No, I can guarantee you the time will remain same. If we accept the premise of your question, then people can do a PhD in a week, right? I can guarantee. You can try, and I can find ways to reject your PhD. So one thing for sure, don't go for shortcut in your life. Let its course to run, and you will be the most beneficial. No one else, right? Again, it is an investment, right?
Yeah, Doctor, I have another question, which is about the campus. How about if someone wants to study with RMIT but not in Australia, maybe in Vietnam? Is that okay?
Some Vietnam colleagues are studying from Vietnam. We have co-supervision. We have a supervisor from Melbourne with supervisor from Vietnam. Some Vietnamese students coming to Melbourne, right? Some staying in Vietnam. Some students from other countries studying in RMIT in Vietnam. So lots of permutation, combination, right? So depending on your lifestyle, depending on your family, depending on your work, you can come up with the best strategy where you need to be located. So today we visited Prince Nora University, and we said to them that if you have colleagues who wants to do PhD, we can probably come up with an agreement where they spend 3 years in Saudi Arabia and 1 year in RMIT, and they can have their PhD.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's possible. If your lifestyle, if your family commitment, if your situation demands you to be in Saudi most of the time, nowadays it's possible. You just need to make some commitment to Melbourne, a few months here and there. As long as you do 12 to 18 months, you can get a PhD.
So now they can do their PhD even if they are Saudi.
Yes, but they need to spend some time in Melbourne, let's say 12 months. Could be a few months in a year. Yes, yeah.
How could the candidate be supervised during that time?
It would be joint supervision. So first of all, we need to have an agreement between RMIT and the local university. They will commit to have local supervisors. Let's say 2 supervisors from Melbourne, 2 from Saudi. Most likely the study will be in Saudi context because candidate will spend most time here. They can go and visit Melbourne 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, as long as they make it up to 12 months. That's fine.
I think they are until now. They have some students, they have local supervisors from Saudi as well. They have that in my medical science. So now, like me and my friend, we have here in Saudi some local supervisors because the data protection that will be from Saudi. So we need supervisors to look after the data.
And your PhD is from which uni? Okay. Even in a traditional sense, you can enroll to RMIT, do your first year. I'm just giving you very simplified version, right? Don't prosecute me on this. You defend your proposal, then your data collection starts, right? If your case study is in Saudi, nobody will stop you coming to Saudi. Data collection can go for 1 year, writing can go for another year. So in a way, you could spend more time in Saudi while you are enrolled to RMIT full time. I'm talking about social sciences, not physical sciences, because physical sciences, you need to be in the lab, 9 to 5, right? No escape. But if you do accounting, if you do supply chain, if you do marketing, innovation, these things are possible. I have Saudi students who spent 2.5 years here while they were fully enrolled in RMIT Melbourne. Yes?
Do we consider this as an exception?
Not exception. They are not getting any exceptional treatment. It is within the law, within the policy, because you can go where the data is, right? If you do a case study in Saudi, you have to be here.
But the rule for SACIT, once under scholarship, we cannot be sit here for long.
Yeah. That's you understand this better than me. Yeah. I don't advise on behalf of SECAM, so but for it is possible from RMIT's perspective, it is possible.
I think like some universities, local universities, or some employers, they allow like candidates to be present in Saudi Arabia while they are as well studying PhD, either Australia or anywhere else. So there are some situations they are accepted to do some kind of like this programs.
Yes, I'm aware of in US and even in some UK university, US university, they do PhD online. You can do everything online. Doesn't matter where you are. But in RMIT, we don't have free pass. We have different deal for different arrangements. And these arrangements are already made, and some we can renegotiate, right? But we don't have such online kind of thing that I don't need to be in Melbourne, or I can do the whole thing online.
Yeah, also for the second and other scholarship, we cannot do PhD online. It's not acceptable.
It's not acceptable, yeah. But some universities offer. If you do it, that's your business, right? I know some UK university, they are giving admission. You don't have to be there. Yes?
How can AI help me in natural my proposal?
Sorry, I missed that.
How can AI help me in my proposal?
Ah.
Doing that.
Okay, yeah. Just take it AI as your friend, right? But don't take it as your mentor or your supervisor. If AI starts supervising you, then it's a problem. You can seek help from your friend, right? And take it as an input, not output. If you give me something that comes straight from AI, I would know, everyone else will know, and there is no benefit. If you use some AI, get something, and then work on it, then you are taking the advantage of AI. You are getting your assistant, right, who is helping you to write, who is helping you to fix your English, who is helping you to improve your vocabulary. But if you use it as an output, as if it is your output, that's the problem. Don't take AI as your output. Take it as your input. Make it your assistant. Do this for me, do that for me. But then you make the decision how you like your output to be. Don't let AI to choose the output for you. Yeah.
And is there any subject that I need to take, like coursework?
Yeah. For different colleges have different requirements. I'm talking about business. We have 4 courses.
How long?
3 you need to do in first year, and the remaining 1 within 3 years before you submit.
And total how many hours?
How many hours of coursework?
Is it by hours or by subject? Like
Subject.
4.
4 subjects. So in RMIT, most of the hours is 3 hours per week, main learning activity. So if you think it would be 3-hour class per week for 12 weeks. And it is a requirement that you do it in the first year before you have your confirmation of candidature. Courses are same for all specialization, but there are some optionals. You can choose qualitative methodology, you can choose quantitative methodology, you can choose mixed method, depending on your interest. Any last question? Yeah?
Is there any test for that? Like in a PhD, how many tests?
For PhD, we have a milestone. Every year you need to make a presentation in front of a committee. You will present less for half an hour, and committee will ask you a question for half an hour. If you can satisfy, you are passed. So you can move on to the year 2. So we have instances that some people cannot pass.
So what's the consequences?
They lose their PhD, they can't graduate.
Second master?
Masters, if you complete your thesis and examiner recommend that this is not a PhD, it's a master level work, only then it is masters.
And that's in which stage, or which stage?
To get a master's, you have to finish your thesis.
So second year, maybe?
3rd year. We don't allow anyone to submit after 2nd year. Unless you decide that I can't go for PhD, I realize it is not going to be PhD, then committee can decide that, okay, we can downgrade it to master's, and then you submit for examination. But sometimes it happens that you submit as a PhD, examiners recommends that this is master's. Very rare, happen once in 1,000 cases. Okay, so probably we can call it a night. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I hope you got something to take away. And if you have further questions, we have local colleagues, right? You know who are there. They are mostly sitting at the back. So if you need any help, they'll be the first point of contact. And then from Melbourne, I'll try my best to help you. So all the best. I hope all of you will consider for putting an application. And I hope some of you will be in Melbourne and we'll have coffee together. So thank you again. Have a lovely evening. And I'm not sure if you are staying for dinner. If you do, probably we'll see you again. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you Dr. Tarek. Thank you. شكرا لكم كلكم. شكرا لحضوركم اليوم وتواجدكم. في عشاء واللي حابب انه يكون يتكلم مع دكتور طارق او جوزيف او اي حد هنا يقدر يتكلم معنا.